It's been a while since I've talked about Quant Network on this channel, and a lot of people continue to ask me, Nick, are you still bullish on QNT? Nick, we haven't heard about, QNT in a while. Did you just give up on QNT? And the answer to those questions are, no, I have not given up on Quant. Yes, I'm still extremely bullish on Quant, and I still think that the tech behind Quant Network is extremely revolutionary for the, overall move that's happening right now around our financial system. So in this video, I want to address a few things that have happened over the last couple weeks and really address the price action of QNT as well. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So let's dive on in and let's actually talk about the price action because, well, it's very boring. This is what the all-time chart looks like since going all the way back to 2021. And as you guys can see, the price action has been pretty stale. Now, this is very good because we know that a lot of people are not touching QNT right now. If we look at the current setup here, I have a nice little drawing. I know it's beautiful, right? And then we have the chart below it. So the thing that I mainly want to address here is, XRP. XRP is a perfect example of an altcoin that nobody cared about, nobody wanted to touch because, well, this is what the all-time chart looked like prior to that big move, right? This is what we were doing. And by the way, this is going all the way back to 2017, 2018, all the way up to, the end of 2024. Then we get that big move. And now XRP has outperformed pretty much everything in the top 10 and most of the top 100 in the last year. And XRP is still up significantly in the last year as well. Now I say that because the longer this consolidation goes on for, the higher the price move to the upside. I don't think XRP is finished, by the way. I still think XRP has a lot more, room left to really kind of run. But with QNT, it's so crazy because when we officially do break out of this consolidation wedge that we're basically in, the move to the upside will be very significant. Now, we probably, if we're really kind of looking at this, we probably retest the trend line and then continue higher. So we'll probably hit somewhere around, I would argue, maybe the wick back in 2022 because it was a significant push. So something like this would make a lot of sense where we do hit that, high, we retest the trend line and then continue even higher. This will basically take us to a new all-time high. It would break over the all-time high wicks back in 2021. We would go into price discovery, and from there, I do think that we go to $1,000 plus. Now, how high does QNT go? Well, it's all really kind of determined by how much hype there is for QNT. And I know that you guys are probably thinking, well, Nick, you just said that this is like a project that has so much utility, but now you're talking about hype. I'm kind of confused. Well, because we still are in a hype and speculative market. We're not in a utility-driven market just yet. So we can't really kind of determine prices off of just utility. But I do think that QNT could very well hit $5,000 this cycle, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did, depending on what kind of news we get and if there is like a very bullish, push around QNT from big YouTubers or if there is a lot of hype from the retail side. But initially, I'm really kind of looking at like 1,000 to 2,500, and then going from there, we can really kind of determine how high we go. But first, before we even talk about future prices, we still have a lot of work to do. And, initially, yeah, I'm looking for a big break over the trend line, a big breakout officially confirmed by having some nice closes above that trend line. And then we kind of target that $229 level. And then from there, we look for either a rejection back to the upper trend line, or we look for a big break over that 2022 high to target the 2021 highs. But so far, QNT's chart, not really concerned at all about the health of this chart, simply because of if we really kind of look at this, and we could look at this on the weekly real quick just to kind of show you guys. If we look at this chart, we have higher lows throughout this entire process. Here we have the low back in 2022. We have a low here in August of 2024. Here's the lows from like October, November of 2024. And then here's the recent lows of April. And as you guys can see, these are all higher lows. Now, the big focus here is we already have a higher high going off of, these highs here from 2024 and even this high here from like January of 2023. But we have yet to get a higher high macro-wise going off of like the 2022 highs and then the 2021 highs, which is exactly what I'm looking forward to seeing. The second that we actually create a higher high, even just going off of this previous high, so breaking over $171 on QNT will be very bullish because it will show us that we are creating very good, even higher time frame bullish structure. So that's what I'm really kind of looking at when it comes to the TA side of QNT. Now let's actually talk about what's been happening over the last couple weeks and what's upcoming. Number one, we did get an announcement from Quant that Gilbert Verdian will be at the financial services. This is an Innovate Finance event where he's going to be talking about, better financial services systems, just really kind of innovating the financial system itself. And this is going to be happening on the 29th. Now, the reason why this event is very big is because, number one, it is a global summit filled with a ton of massive conglomerates around the financial system. But we also have, a panel discussion on agents of growth, AI, blockchain, Web3, and even smart data convergence in action, where we're really going to be seeing a spotlight put on everything happening around this space. And what's crazy about this is that if we look at the speakers that will be at this event, it might actually surprise you. Swift, Barclays, we have some big players from the space, major banks. Clearbank is going to be there as well. Thunes, which is a cross-border payment network, massive player. There's a lot of great names that are going to be tied back to this event, and it wouldn't, it doesn't even surprise me at this point, if I'm being honest. Like, when I think about Quant, I immediately think that they're at the high table with the big bankers and the big central banks as well. And you might say, well, Nick, isn't that bearish technically because they're supporting this like CBDC push? It doesn't really matter what I think about that or my thought process on CBDCs or this like new financial system, because it is already happening. BlackRock is tokenizing a ton of money. They're pushing for it. They're urging regulators to push for tokenization services. Stablecoins are now beating Visa in terms of volume. It's already happening, right? Like the digitalization of finance itself is already happening. And even BlackRock is pushing for digital IDs around tokenization services. And it's BlackRock, right? It's not like some small name company. So when we think about what's really going on here, I think that the best way to position for this is by investing into technology like Quant, even like Ripple, for an example, that are main drivers of this new system. So I'm not too bearish on the fact that like, oh, Quant's working with CBDCs or they're accelerating this. I'm more so just bearish on the fact that we are getting CBDCs and this system is becoming a reality. And the best way to get behind it is by investing into the technology, because that benefits us, which allows us to actually help others in need. But outside of that, when we look at what's been happening around Quant, March 18th, this was a big one. So last month, one of our long-standing partners, Oracle, launched the Oracle Blockchain Platform Digital Assets Edition. Now, when we think about this, okay, this is where things start to become very real around Quant. And what do I mean by that? Well, when we think about what we typically want to see from this space, we want to see an announcement that, oh, this bank is using XRP, or this bank is using Algo, or this bank is using X, Y, and Z, right? Like when we think about these announcements, we don't typically see them like this, where Oracle, a massive name, is actually using a white labeled product that Quant has created. See, that's the thing. When we think about Oracle, they are a massive name. They have 430,000 plus customers. They have, $40 billion yearly revenue. They have over 135,000 employees. They manage over 22,000 new hires per year. They're in 175 countries, and they have partners with over 40,000 suppliers. They're a massive name, right? So when we think about that, and we think about them partnering up with Quant to drive digital asset innovation, all of a sudden you could kind of start to see how big Quant's going to be. But this product that Oracle did announce also has Quant tied to it. They're collaborating with them to enable interoperability and cross-ledger orchestration to support the development of a secure, programmable, and highly interoperable digital economy. The financial landscape is undergoing significant transformation fueled by tokenization and the rapid expansion of digital assets, yet a number of these developments are constrained by isolated ledgers that limit the seamless movement of assets. OBP DA is an enterprise-grade solution designed to streamline the development and deployment of digital assets applications to create unified ledgers. The platform simplifies and accelerates the process of tokenization by combining a comprehensive bank-grade distributed ledger infrastructure with prepackaged smart contracts, APIs, powerful indexing database capabilities, web applications, and analytics tools that enable organizations to bring innovative digital asset solutions to the market faster. Our involvement in Project Rosalind, which is a big project to actually focus on, where we demonstrated interoperability between retail CBDCs and commercial banks via secure API gateways and the UK's regulated liability network, which showcased our platform's ability to tokenize and settle commercial bank money across multiple ledgers, means that we are best placed to support Oracle in delivering innovative, secure, and compliant infrastructure for their customers. Quant is delighted to support Oracle in driving the next wave of blockchain interoperability by ensuring digital assets can seamlessly integrate with blockchain networks and traditional financial infrastructure. And then, of course, down here we have what challenges does Oracle Blockchain Platform Digital Assets Edition address. They do talk about them here. This is just like a few like Q&As, if you will, around it. But when we think about what's going on here, the main focus is mass adoption of this tech. You don't get mass adoption of this tech without interoperability, which is why I've always, stated that if you believe in the future of Web3, if you believe in like XRP or Algo or XLM or any of these, cryptocurrencies, then you should have QNT a part of your portfolio, because what Quant is doing is extremely revolutionary for, mass adoption. It's not just about CBDCs. Like, obviously, yeah, that's a piece of all of this. What Quant's really doing is just solving interoperability. And it's solving for the multi-chain future that we are headed into. But we have here aligning with Oracle's vision. As leaders in DLT, interoperability, and payment programmability, we have the technical expertise, strategic insight, and extensive experience to deliver Oracle's vision for digital assets. Firstly, by leveraging Overledger's multi-chain connectivity and patent orchestration layer. By the way, there's the multi-chain feature that I was just addressing. Organizations can bridge financial systems and digital wallets with OBP DA to create a fully connected digital asset ecosystem that unlocks new opportunities for innovation and financial inclusion. The integration will also enable cross-ledger operations and workflows required to implement a unified ledger architecture, helping to overcome blockchain fragmentation and preserve the singleness of money. Through our programmable payments technology, which focuses on conditional payments and brings significant expertise in secure DLT integration, it will create a trusted private digital currency with the programmability and efficiency of modern digital payments. Finally, by enabling programmable payment services for deposit token and stablecoin use cases, we can support advanced payment models using simple locks, two-party or three-party locks to allow banks, asset managers, and others to offer innovative financial services to their clients. Quant is delighted to support Oracle in driving the next wave of blockchain interoperability by ensuring digital assets can seamlessly integrate with blockchain networks and traditional financial infrastructure. We look forward to seeing how the platform evolves and how Quant can continue to support Oracle's digital economy vision. And what's crazy about this is, like, yeah, if you think about mass adoption of crypto and blockchain and DLT itself, what better name to do it with than Oracle, which is just massive conglomerate that has massive connections back to huge amounts of numbers of customers, suppliers, companies. Like, when we think about the companies that are tied back to, Oracle, like, they do have this customer base here, which it doesn't really give us too much of an insight on just like some of the big names, but they do have huge healthcare players tied to them, major retail companies tied to them as well, universities. I mean, this is the best way to achieve mass adoption of DLT and blockchain, is by having something like this connected to the digital asset space, immediately bridged through something that is completely interoperable. You can tap into any ledgers. Overledger does have that power, right? Like any ledger technology, XRP, Algo, XLM, Casper, any enterprise grade blockchain based network as well, like Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Basu, all of that can be immediately bridged through Overledger, which allows all of these companies that you're seeing on this list here, it allows any of them to actually tap into DLT and blockchain services if they wanted to, which I believe very soon all of these companies will actually be utilizing DLT. It might not happen, overnight. It might not happen in the next year, but we are already moving towards this with tokenization services, stablecoin initiatives. The US government is now all in on crypto. So it's only a matter of time. And I feel like all of the moves that we have already witnessed in this year has reinforced the use case of Quant more and more, which is why I think today at $75 on QNT, it's actually pretty cheap. I mean, if we go back to the summer of 2021, we're trading at the prices that we haven't seen since going back to July of 2021. I mean, obviously, like, yeah, we saw these prices, you know, here we even saw lower prices. But what I mean is, like, we are now back to these prices back in 2021. And it is 2025. It's almost the summer of 2025. So we're 4 years down the road almost, and we still have this opportunity in front of us. And I don't think that we should, you know, take it for granted. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.